Yo, it's Guido come back at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you as always for your support of the channel. We have Bossfan today on today's episode of World of Tanks. Bossfan 1990 pushing up here in his E50 German Tier 9 medium tank. Looks like he's trying to sort out the middle, but the enemy team has some faster tanks to get up there. Looks like he's still thinking about it. The Indian Panzer's pushing up, but I don't think this goes well for him from what I recall. Yeah, he gets absolutely pummeled. Nice little shot into the T-54. I like this initial move there, Bossfan, to come up here and kind of keep these guys honest and punish any of them who try to get up there. Unfortunately, one of them got up there. The 730 version 2 is trying, then we got the T-10. Yeah, bounce, that's a bummer. Don't quite get any shots off of him, and a near 100% T-10 gets up there. Looks like he takes a hit on the way up. And you have fallen back to a pretty decent position doing what E50s do, picking at pixels, and they do that very well. They do that very well with a decent mobility and some pretty good armor. We get a little shot. There it is. Nice understanding of the weak spot on the Conqueror. Something about that Conqueror we'll talk about in a little while that was interesting. I didn't realize till later in the game. So we're trying to do the same thing to the 703, but those hatches are really hard to get to on that thing. And the Patton sort of has you dialed in on that corner. So every time you come up, he's got your pixels to shoot. I might have investigated him a little bit more just to see how he's disappeared. Just to see if you're able to shoot back at him. But you sneak one into the T-54 there while you're sliding back. Not bad at all. And doing a nice job of holding this area right here. And then all of a sudden we have a mill show up. The Patton pixel snipes us, puts some shot into us, and we lose a gunner, which you fix right away, which is a good idea. And then we change. I don't know about this decision. I'm not sure I would have done this. Also, when you're backing out, I just made everything go away. When you're backing out like that, be careful of exposing yourself to guys that have line of fire. Now, I don't think the Patton necessarily had a shot, but you didn't really need to back out that much. You could have just spun around there in place. It's a small thing, but something to think about. Like I said, I wasn't sure about this move. We're going to go all the way around the corner here and push in from the other side. And I don't particularly like pushing from this other side where you're going. There's just too many TDs that can be back there. There's the guys on the hill, right, that are going to be proxy lighting you all the time. There's 2 artillery that can dump on you, but one of the reasons I'm showing this game is well, there's 2 actually. The first one is it's an E50, and not a lot of people play the E50, and not a lot of people send me good replays from the E50. Mad Dog and a couple others in particular like it, but I don't get a lot just from the other players that watch the channel, so it was nice to see an E50 replay. The second one was we're going to do this a little bit non-standard. Now that was we get some seriously good pixel RMG on this, so that was a nice shot. I think we were still stunned from the artillery as well. And going back to the second reason, it's because this is a non-meta kind of win. We get a fairly large push right down the side here that doesn't get absolutely massacred by a bunch of TDs sitting back here. Which, why? Well, because if you look at the map down here, the Scorpion is down in this corner right here. We don't know where the Su-130 is. That's the only one that's really missing, and the rest of the tanks are kind of on the map. So it looks like maybe there's nobody over here on the left side. Now we do have to be careful about coming around this corner here too close or too fast. There we go. We're going to knock down this T-54. That was a nice kill. And every inch we climb right here, we're more exposed to all these guys over here. And we know there's several. There's a Scorpion G out on the island. The UDES is not going to have shots, but there's probably a Su-130 back here somewhere. And the artillery, who still has shots on us. But watch what happens here, because the AE Phase 1 sort of moves in a little bit, and he's going to turn around and go back up the hill. He's actually pushing up here for right now, looking for shots. The idea is to sweep around behind him. The problem is, as you go higher up that hill, you become exposed to the stuff behind you, which is why this doesn't work too much. But because of the setup and where the enemy tanks are right now anyway, it's working out like a boss. I thought you were going to swing around and go all the way the other way. I might have done that, because now everyone knows you're there and you're in a bit of a crossfire. This is great here too. We're still stunned. I think I would have used my kit right here to try to duel this Su-130. We get another stun shot in on him. We eat 469 from the GW, but bounce the Su-130, which would have ended our game right there. And that's the kind of one of the things about this particular tank, is that just awesome armor does work on occasion for a medium. It does work on occasion, especially at longer ranges when you're angled. It's harder for them to go after those big flat plates directly. Not, well, harder, right? Harder than if they were close. And sometimes you can get those strange little bounces. So we back out of that, and I thought, well, okay, now we're going to go around. but we don't do that. We kind of hang out here, and that surprised me a little bit because we got 254 hit points. But again, like I talked about earlier, I like these sometimes because it's really a non-meta way to win this tank. The Renegade and the AE Phase 1, like I mentioned, have gone up top. And the result of that, the interesting result of that, which I didn't realize the first pass through until much later, is it has kept the Arty from coming around and nuking them. If they come around those buildings, those two are going to see them and take them out. Now that was a little bit of a rushed shot right there. I know you were trying to not get hit, and then we have that go on. Man, that was misplayed by you. I would have definitely fixed those tracks, raged forward while he was tracked, and got that nice shot right into his flat plate. It's going to work out for you. Right now, he's going to fix it. Now he's coming at you, and this was a lot more exciting than it necessarily needed to be. Looks like we've got that skill that tells what the enemy tank has damaged. And then the Patton rages in, and he has 0 SA that you're there, or doesn't care. I don't know which. Sometimes the inexplicable things happen, and you just have to take advantage of them right there. Seems to me he would have just shot you, but clearly he either thought the 100-01 had you, or just had no clue that you were there. So now there's a T10 and a Patton trying to fight for the hill. Again, at this position, I think I would have probably gone around and tried to get up the hill and get up with the Patton and get rid of the T10. Then take the hill and use it as sniping action. But let's watch, because that is not what he does. Bossfan has a different plan. Comes around here. Takes a snipe at the Arty, who is being pressured by the two heavies. One Arty down, very good. Bossfan actually gets the spotting for that because he saw him. Boom, there goes the other one. So 2 artillery take out the other 2 enemy artillery, and now we have much more freedom of movement. It was fortunate that their Arty was pinned in the corner anyway, but they potentially could have had shots across the map on other things. Now here goes that Conqueror that was over there earlier. He's headed back to camp in a bush. If we look over here, we can see that we got a good decent hit point Patton taking on a T10, and the Patton's probably going to need 2 shots to take out the T10, and the T10's probably going to need 2 shots to take out the Patton, who's sitting on 600. So we'll see how that duel goes. That's an important one. They need to win the hill up there. They absolutely need to win the hill. And I think, Bossfan, you probably hung out here a little more than you really should have. I think in this case, in this position, now the T10's dead, but once the Patton started taking him on and he was stuck over in the north part of the hill, I'd have come up here and started looking, using these bushes in this corner to try to find what's going on with this Conqueror over here, instead of sitting out in the middle. One of the other problems with the middle is you've got the Scorpion G over there and the Udez, who once you start moving this away and get too far up in here, they're going to have shots on your side. So this was a bad approach, in my opinion, for trying to get up into the Conqueror over here. You wanted to come around this corner, up over in this ramp, and hide out behind these rocks so that you couldn't get shot by the guys over here, and you would make his shots much more difficult. It would also be easier to see him. Right now, you're just sort of going after the top pixels of him, and that thing has a great turret. So this is just a really bad angle to be going after. I may have just shot through that fence. I'll spit it out in a minute to knock it down so you can get a better highlight, and frankly you get lucky there. But hey, you know what, we all get lucky. And guess what, I just wanted to note the thing I didn't notice until later about this Conqueror. He's running the small gun. See that he only did 280 potential with his shot, so he's got the little gun on that thing, which I believe is the one from the Black Prince, right? Or maybe a slightly upgraded. The Udez takes a sneak and takes a hit for it. You bounce, that's unfortunate, but he's not long for the world. Down he goes, and now we just need to track down the Conqueror. We'll just speed this up because you do a nice job coming around behind him. I liked this. Good thing is you weren't spotted. I think if you'd have been spotted, that'd have been trouble. We're going to just sneak up in here and go, hey, buddy, where are you? Well, it happens to be that he's right here. I'm not really sure why you're looking down. There you go. That was a little bit strange to me, why you were looking so far down. Maybe you were thinking he was right here on this corner. That must have been it. I would have figured he was up here. But in any event, you do find him. You get the kill. 5 kills, 2,975, 1,244 assists. And I just love this one because it's completely different, right? Sometimes you just play this game and you just try something different there and see what happens. There were a lot of elements in this game that were kind of non-standard from the enemy team that allowed that to happen. But when you start probing and finding weaknesses in enemy setups and enemy deployments, see what you can do. Maybe you can break something open like this and make kind of a non-meta event on Mines, which is, frankly, is pretty unusual because Mines is very static in how it's won. The push down on the east side is not unheard of, But that earlier in the game is really what I'm getting at. It is fairly unheard of at that point. But nicely done, man. Thanks for sending that in. Great E50 game. It's always good to present tanks that you don't see a whole lot on replays and a gameplay that you don't always see a whole lot of meta-wise. So thanks for sending it in. Thanks for watching to everybody. Appreciate your support. If you're looking for other ways to do so, down in the description down there, you can go to the store and buy yourself some Christmas merchandise. now I'm hawking Christmas merchandise. All right, I'm out of here. See ya.